Second. There we go.
Let me try to share my screen. Can you all hear me okay? Good evening, everyone. Let me see. I'm having some double screen issues. Oh, I need access to be able to share, or if somebody else wants to share the screen.
I'm going to go ahead and give you access, Rebecca. Sorry.
No, that's okay. I didn't even.
Mhm. And try it now. I can see it.
You're able to see it. Now I want to try one thing because it's doing something funny. Just humor me for just a second. I think if it's okay with you, I'm going to need to show it from this view. Can you see the screen okay, everyone?
Yes.
All right, so welcome to you all. And this is probably my favorite slide. We want to welcome you to the start of an amazing journey. Oh, and yes, we have a good question in the chat. Can we get a direct link to the slides? So a couple of housekeeping things. Thank you, Lauren, for bringing that up. After this presentation, the slides, everything will be posted online. The slides, as well as the recording from the presentation tonight. And another thing that comes to mind to remember is that if you have questions, we do have several district representatives who are here, including a few of our principals. I see a board member. I see all kinds of people here. So if you can post your questions in the chat, if it's during the meeting, and we will also leave time at the end of the meeting for any verbal questions that you may have. Okay? Okay, so this is such an exciting time for you, and I want to congratulate you as you prepare your child for either TK or kindergarten. And so the first few slides that we have talk about different things that you can do as you get ready, and they also let you know a little bit about preparing for kindergarten. So this slide talks about emotionally, what can you do? And some of the highlights on here, and I'm sure that you already do a lot of these things, is organizing playtime with other children. Kids are in a class in kindergarten and TK together, and they have to learn how to interact with others in a group situation. And so the more exposure they can have to that before they come to school, the better. You'll also be hearing about school tours that each school site offers in advance of the coming school year. One exciting opportunity that a lot of our families get really welcome is that you are able to attend this open house that takes place for the school district in the spring, okay, at your school. And this year, those will take place on April 30th. And then a lot of the other things on the slide relate to different types of routines. You know, kids come to school and everything is very structured. There are rules in the classrooms. There are the ways that we do things. How do you get to your seat? How do we interact with others? How do you ask the teacher if you need help? So the more you can practice different routines with your child, the better your child will be prepared for TK or kindergarten. And then there's also academically things that you can do. And there are a lot of, as I'm sure you can imagine, basic skills that students start working on in TK and even more so in kindergarten. A big one that I always emphasize is reading with your child every single day. For kids to come to learn that books have meaning, that the words that they see on the cover have meaning, that they give them clues about what's going to be in the text. Those things are very important for children to start understanding. So please, please, please read with your children as much as possible. Read books that are of high interest to them and the topics. I know a lot of people don't do it anymore, but go to the library and check out books and return them. All of those things work. And anything having to do with writing your child's name, I'll tell you, as you know, of course, I'm a former teacher. And one thing that we do see with kindergartners is sometimes they are unable to verbally say their name when they come to school, or perhaps they're shy or just not comfortable doing that in the first days of school. So that is an excellent skill that you can practice at home. Okay. And you see some other ideas on here, things like the numbers and the alphabet. These are all great things. Here's a little bit more about academic skills, looking at opposites, colors, shapes, any skills relating to counting. Something that you will see in the early grades a lot are things with sorting different objects and moving them around. Like maybe you've seen the little plastic teddy bears, right? Counters, things that we use to count objects. That will really help your child to get ready for school. And I almost forgot to mention, there is a resource here linked to the Burbank Unified website. This is a link to 40 words that are helpful for kindergartners to know beforehand, even if they have some familiarity, or not necessarily know or master, but beforehand, but have some familiarity with. So that link is hyperlinked to the slide and also available on the district website. If I can ask, perhaps one of our helpers here can post that link in the chat too, so you can have easy access to it.
And Rebecca, while we're taking a pause, and that's going to be uploaded in the chat, I do want to remind families that when you have questions specifically about your child and your situation, I would ask that you call the Student Services Department, talk to Lauren Dieter. You can call our Director of Elementary Education, Rebecca Harris. You can call the school site and ask the school site questions, the principals, the office managers. You can also call me. Once again, I'm Peter Konopik. Thank you.
So I know that, well, there's more coming, so I'll save what I'm going to say for just a minute. Now, here we have a sample kindergarten daily schedule. It may vary slightly depending on the school that you go to for TK and K, but this is a sample schedule that is true to several of the schools in Burbank Unified, starting at 8:30 and ending at 1:30 in the day. But you'll see kind of a general flow of the day. I would say that it's pretty common in elementary schools. Anybody can speak up if you disagree, but we tend to do things related to language arts, reading and writing, and things like that in the morning. Kids generally have 2 to 3 structured breaks during the day where they may play, they may eat, and the other subjects, math and things like that, tend to come later in the day. That's generally pretty typical at an elementary school. Now, this is getting a little bit more granular, and I don't want you to feel like you have to memorize it. And remember, it will be posted on the website after the meeting, but we have a few slides that talk about specific standards or skills by the subject areas. So this one is looking at language arts examples, and it includes a lot of the things that we just talked about. Following words, being able to understand that those words have meaning, even if they don't understand the words yet, just the notion of understanding that those words on the page have meaning. A lot of things with rhyming sounds. And again, that counting, being able to count numbers and being able to sort shapes. All of those things really help to set our kids up for success and are included in the early grades. And here's math, which includes a lot of what we've been talking about. Science is very fun, especially in kindergarten. They get to do a lot of things that are very familiar to kids and things that kids tend to like anyway, with looking at, especially talking about plants and animals, right? Because I don't know, maybe you disagree with me, but I think most kids like to talk about plants, but also maybe their favorite animals, especially if they have a pet at home or things like that. So it's really easy to see a correlation between our state standards and the types of things they talk about for science in the early grades. And then for social science, which you may think of as social studies, or sometimes we just say history, really in the early grades, they learn a lot about, well, citizenship for one thing, but also their communities and different things that tend to happen in community. So again, it's another thing that kids tend to get excited about, like maybe, where's the library in your community, or where's the museum that you love to go to with your family? Okay, now I'm sure you know most of these things. It looks like we have a lot of experienced people on this Zoom, but here are some things to keep in mind right before school starts. You want to label everything. Label everything, bags, any little snack bags, jackets. You'd be amazed at how quickly things tend to disappear and get lost. I'm sure some of you have experienced that on this. So please label everything. And I love this. Purchase things with independence in mind, right? While,
Yeah.
while there is a teacher there with the students, we want kids in TK and kindergarten to learn to become more independent. So, come to school, for example, with a jacket that they're able to take on and off themselves, or zip up or snap, whatever the case may be. And something that we all want to talk about, probably one of the most important slides, is student safety. Each school has their own policy and organizational systems for drop-off and pick-off. Kindergartners and TK are often in their own area, separate area of the school, all at a gate that is very monitored, as all gates would be at the school site. And gates at the schools remain locked during the instructional day, and if there's not an adult there present. Another important thing to know about safety is that in order to volunteer in any Burbank Unified School, you have to be cleared and TB tested. So there's a whole process for that, and you can learn more about that when you enroll in your school. Again, schools are secured with the doors to be able to enter the school. Families have to buzz in. Let's say you're an adult or a parent coming during the school day. After the students have already arrived, you would have to buzz in through the office and sign in to be able to get access to anything, and then you would be helped by the office staff. All right, we now have the fabulous Lauren Dieter from Student Services here to talk about some enrollment specifics.
Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you. My name is Lauren. Pardon me, I have a little cold, so I sound funny. Okay, so entrance ages for the 25-26 school year. Transitional kindergarten. Children must turn 5 between September 2nd, 2025 through September 1st, 2026. So these are hard dates. This is a hard stop and start. This is set by the state of California. To start kindergarten, children must turn 5 on or before September 1st of 2025. And then to start first grade, they must have been born on or before September 1st, 2019. The slides it's a little confusing, but if you have a question, let me know. You're welcome to ask me. Okay, and then next, we have some main enrollment points that we're going to talk about. The biggest question is, when does registration and enrollment start? January 27th at 8:00 a.m. So I will get to my office and I will post the link, and it'll be live to go at 8:00. on January 27th. So for any grade, for all grades, you must do online enrollment first. So you'll go onto our website. We have a link on the main webpage, burbankUSD.org. There's a little icon below the giant photo at the top that says 25-26 enrollments for Burbank residents. Click that. It takes you to my page. There's a lot of information. Scroll through. That's where you're going to find the presentation tomorrow and the slides. I'll post it all tomorrow once I have it. And that is where you'll find a bright yellow pencil that says enrollment. That will be the link that you'll click to go to the Aries online enrollment page.
Lauren,
Mm-hmm.
what happens if someone would go there today and click on the pencil, etc.?
If they clicked on the pencil now, they would not be able to select 25-26 school year. So they would be trying to register for this school year, for tomorrow, and we would delete it. So you have to wait until the 27th to have access to 25-26 enrollment.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So you'll do your online enrollment. You will, on the next slide, I'll tell you what you'll need, but you will do your enrollment and then you will contact your school of residence to make an appointment to go into the office. You will take your hard copy original documents into the office to work with the office manager or office assistant to finalize registration. Once you've had your appointment, that is when your enrollment is finalized, not the minute that you push submit online. So I want to make sure everyone knows that because that may be surprising, I guess.
Sorry, can you repeat that last point again?
Yeah. So once you do your online enrollment, let's say January 27th at 8:04 a.m., you still have to make an appointment and go into the school to present the original documents in person, and the school will be there to finalize everything, answer any questions you may have. They may have questions for you about the documents, but you are not officially enrolled in school until you've finalized it in person with your school site.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, so I think, Rebecca, can we go to the next one and then come back to the permit info? Okay, so here is what is required for enrollment. And yeah, let me just go through. Okay, so an original Burbank water and power bill and either a SoCal gas bill or a landline telephone bill. And they must be current for, if you're enrolling in January, they must be current for January. And then so on. Proof of age. So birth certificate, original state issued birth certificate. In California, they're really pretty. They're blue. They're lovely. That or a passport are required. If you don't have one, say you just have a hospital certificate, you can temporarily use that, but you have 45 days to turn in, to bring the original state issued birth certificate to the school site, or you risk losing your spot. So you have 45 days. So if you don't have it, can't find it, go ahead and order it. It should arrive in time. Excuse me. Your child's immunization record is the next thing that you need. They must be as up to date as possible. I'm going to let Lenora Aguilera, our lead nurse, talk a little more about that in a minute. But that is something you will need to have ready. And then also your driver's license, your ID. So you'll need basically 5 things: birth certificate, 2 utility bills, immunization record, ID. Those are the things you'll want to have ready. I suggest take a picture or scan, have it ready on your computer before you even log in on January 27th. That way you're not scrambling.
Lauren,
Mm-hmm.
what happens if you pay your water bill, etc., electronically?
You should be able to go to your online account And there is a place on there where you can say, show me my bill, and it'll show you a PDF of the bill. That will be acceptable to do that and use that PDF.
And the second question is about TK, currently enrolled TK students.
Mhm.
Do the families need to re-enroll?
They do not. So currently enrolled TK students automatically roll to kindergarten at their home school. So if you are not at your home school for TK, you are automatically rolling back to your home school for kindergarten. And that's perfect segue. Will you go back, Rebecca, to the one right before? So if you are at a different school for TK and you love it and you'd love to stay, or you don't want to go to your home school because you've heard great things about another school, you can apply for an intra-district permit. So that's my second, it's not a bullet, but my second paragraph here. Intra-district permit those are for families who live in Burbank but want to go to a different Burbank school than to which they are assigned. I am in charge of these, so if you have questions, you can call me or email me. The window to apply for these permits is February 11th to March 14th. That's it. So if you think you might want to, go ahead and apply. You can always tell me no later if you change your mind. So the link to apply for this permit will be posted online on our website under Student Services starting February 11th. You can't get it before, but on February 11th, I'll post the link. Anytime within that period, you can apply. It is not first come, first serve. It's based on space available and, if necessary, done by lottery. So if there are a lot of spaces and few kids apply, likely I'll be able to approve it. If there are few spaces and a lot of kids apply, then I will do a lottery. The one little thing I'll say, and then I'll move forward, is siblings and students who are currently attending the school for TK have priority lottery based on Board of Education policy. So if you have any questions, email me, call me. I'll be happy to answer. I'll briefly talk about interdistrict permits. If you do not live in Burbank but work here, you can apply for an interdistrict permit. There's information again on our website. You are welcome to call us tomorrow. I'll be happy to answer questions. That application begins March 10th and is ongoing throughout the school year. Okay. I'm going to turn this over to Lenora.
I'm sorry, real quick. Who do I call tomorrow about the interdistrict permit? What was your name?
My name's Lauren. I'll put it in the chat right now, okay? I'll put intra and inter in case anyone wants to look at it.
Lauren. Okay, thank you so much.
What's your last?
Vega. Oh, I'm sorry.
My last name is Dieter, Lauren Dieter. I work in student services. You can just ask for student services also.
Got you. Thank you.
Thank you, Lauren. And now we have our district nurse, Lenore.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome, new parents and returning parents. Children in California are required to receive certain immunizations in order to attend school, and schools are required to enforce immunization requirements. As Lauren mentioned, immunization documents must be presented along with the other enrollment documents. Here is the immunizations that are required. These immunizations are required for students or children that are 4 years old and older. If your child is not current on their immunizations, they will not be able to complete enrollment. I cannot stress this enough. Your students must be current. If you are concerned about that, you can always email me your students' immunization records, and I will review them to make sure that they are current. We do know that with there are going to be some students that when they are enrolling or their parents are enrolling, that they will still be 3 years old, so they will not have received their 4-year-old vaccinations. We do understand that. It's not a lot of students, but those students, we will review the immunizations that they have, make sure that they are as current as possible. And then those families will sign that they understand that within 2 weeks of their students turning 4 years old, that they will present a current immunization record. But I cannot stress this enough. If your child is not current on immunizations, it will not proceed. As I mentioned, when children turn 4, they will receive the remaining of their immunizations. I will be glad to review all any immunizations that are sent my way. And if your child, for example, gets some immunizations during the summer, you can always email those to me in the summer to make sure that we are updating your child's records as soon as possible so that nothing interferes with them complying with the requirements so that they can start school on time.
Thank you so much. Anything else you'd like to add?
Welcome.
Okay. So just a few more things. That was very important information. There's a few terms and things for you to know about. One is something called the Home Language Survey. This is something that your school office will be emailing a copy to you, which must be completed and returned to the school site. So I'm going to go over this a little bit because sometimes we do get questions about it. You can print the survey as it says, you can fill it out, sign it, and scan it. You can also take a picture of it and email it back to the school, or you can type in the survey directly and e-sign it if your computer has these capabilities, and then send it back. Now, what I really want to make sure you know is the purpose of the home language survey. And this is for us to find out about what language or languages our students speak at home so that we can best support them in the school environment. And so once this home language is determined, it has to do with, it helps to determine our next steps as far as determining kids' proficiency in English. And based on the assessment results, we provide instructional programs and services that students need. I want you to understand that this is an important document because it really helps us instructionally to support students. I also just want to emphasize to you that if you're doing the home language survey or have any questions, or if there are things that you don't understand when you get it, please reach out to the school site or any one of us who you will see listed on the last slide, and we would be happy to answer your questions, okay? Here's a little bit more information about the questions on it. So it will ask just a few questions. What language or languages does your child speak at home? And more importantly, which language does your child speak most frequently? And then the same question for the parents or guardians. So we know what language or languages our kids are being exposed to help them develop their language skills. Now, this is kind of a separate conversation when it comes to the dual immersion programs, but that will be discussed at a meeting that's taking place a week from today about the dual immersion programs. Okay, back to you, Lauren.
Okay, sorry, I was answering questions.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay.
Like add more.
I kind of forgot that I had one more thing. Sorry. Okay, so what we want to talk about is if your school is full, what happens? So let's say that you aren't able to enroll until later, or I don't know. So if your school is full in the grade level that you're enrolling, we will find you a place somewhere else. So Some schools become capped or full in certain grade levels. It's hard for me to predict. I don't know how many babies were born in your neighborhood 4 years ago or 5 years ago. So it's hard to predict, but there is a chance that you may be capped out of your school. So I am in charge of keeping the capped list. So let's start with TK. At most schools, there are just 20 seats. So once those 20 seats fill up, the class is full. So what I do is, in the order that I receive finalized completed enrollments from the school, I will keep a list of who's next in line. If someone drops, decides not to come, then I'll move down to the next person on the list. So what will happen is, on the TK enrollment form that you're filling out at school, you have 2 lines, your top 2 choices. You can put your first and second choice. Definitely fill this in for me, even if you only want your homeschool. If you cannot get that, what would be your second choice? If there is space at that school, I will get you there. If there's not, then we're going to move on. And then I usually start looking at proximity. So the closest school that has space. But also, again, it's me who's doing it, not a computer. So we can also have a conversation at that point. If, let's say, a school that I don't even think of is closer to your office, and that would be nice for you, we can talk about that. Okay, so as long as there's space, I go in the order that the completed, finalized enrollments are received, and I keep it all time-stamped. What else does this say? Oh, and then if space opens, I'll call you. And if I don't get a hold of you, I'll email you. And I will make every effort to let you know that a space has opened, and then you'll have the option to stay where you've been placed, because maybe you set up childcare or something, or move to the school, your home school. Do I have anything else? Do I have more? Oh, okay. So something that was new this year, that I'll just talk really quickly about too, is that TK used to be 24-1, and the state has changed it to 20. So now there will be 20 students in the classroom instead of 24, which again limits a little bit the space at each school compared to previous years.
And just to add on to what Lauren is sharing about 20 students to 1 teacher in our TK classrooms, there will also be 1 instructional assistant assigned to that classroom too.
Yeah, baby.
And
But
then,
honey,
oh, there we go. Let's see. I think we've kind of touched on all of this. Oh, I guess I didn't say for kindergarten. Kindergarten is also the same. If your school reaches capacity, I keep the same list for kindergarten. And so that's it. You can always check in with me if you get put on that list. We'll talk about it if that happens to anyone. Okay.
And Lauren,
yeah.
what happens with seed students?
Oh, so seed students have to enroll just like a new student. So I know that technically Horseman is part of BUSD, but TK and Kinder students must enroll brand new, just like they are brand new students. So please don't delay in doing that. You don't want to miss out on getting to the school, your school of residence, or the school that you're supposed to be for the special program.
Okay, thank you. Here is this, again, this will be posted afterwards, but I know if I were in your shoes, I would probably take a picture of the screen if you don't want to have to look anything up. So this screen gives you the contact information of each school site in case you don't know where they're located. So I will pause for a moment in case you want to capture that in any way. And as we mentioned, there are different ways that you can learn about school. I will tell you, I'm very proud of the things that we do in this community in Burbank Unified to get our students ready for TK and kindergarten, and to try to make sure that our families feel prepared as well. And you see a couple of them listed here. Schools do different types of kindergarten site orientations ahead of time, so that'll be something you can discuss with your school site, and also the tours, which we referred to. Some people in the chat, I think, mentioned, what if it's not posted on the school site website yet, or things like that. We did recently have a website upgrade, so just keep that in mind, and you can always call the school and talk to them directly about when those tours are going to take place. Okay? Now we have our child care development team here to talk about a few of the programs that we have available for the community.
Hi, everyone. So my name is Stephanie Fields. I'm the Child Development Coordinator. I oversee the Around the Bell program, ATB, and the subsidized programs at Washington Elementary School and Bret Harte Elementary. So if you are in need of childcare, the Around the Bell program is located at all of the elementary sites. Our program hours are from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. There is a weekly fee and a annual registration fee. If you feel that you've already placed your child on our wait list, feel free to give us a call or send myself or my secretaries, Arlene Rodriguez Avila or Nicole Caterio, an email, and we can definitely check the status of your name on the wait list. If you are not on the wait list, feel free to give us a call and we can definitely add you on the wait list. For the subsidized programs, parents have to meet the state's income and need requirements. The program subsidized care is only offered at Washington and Bret Harte for the school age programs. So if you feel that you would qualify and you would like to see if you meet the need and income requirement, feel free to give me a call or an email, and you can also reach out to my office manager, Sarah Garan, and then she can help you with that information as well.
We'd like to invite Laura Flossie now to share about other childcare partners.
Okay, we have other childcare options throughout our school district. And one of the great ones we work with the city of Burbank, and they offer through Parks and Rec, they offer after school days, which we will call ASD. That is located, it's an outdoor program when the weather's nice and when it's sunny, and then it goes indoors for some homework help and games when it's dark or too cold or rainy. So they really get a lot of outdoor and indoor time. That is available by signing up through the city of Burbank. We also have Boys and Girls Club at our sites, and that is available by signing up with Boys and Girls Club. And all of these links will be on our webpage under Burbank Unified School District. Under Child Development, Child Care, we will have the links of how you can get to these to get more information from Burbank, Parks and Rec, to Boys and Girls Club, and also the YMCA. One thing to note, so ASD is available for 1st through 5th grade. And Boys and Girls Club does offer a morning care for our TK and Kinder at our sites, but they have to have a minimum of 15 children. So that's something that once school starts, it's kind of hard to fill that. So you might want to start letting Boys and Girls Club know that you need some morning care to have that in motion, that we could start that up at the school sites that might need it. Currently, I think we have it at 2 sites, so it might be something you want to talk to Boys and Girls Club. So they have a main club on Angelino, and again, over on our website, by the time you start to register, we will have all these links. You can always reach out to me, Laura Flossie. Stephanie Fields also has all the information on ATB, anything you might need to find out about the after-school programs. And then there's one other program we have at only 4 of our sites, 3 elementary sites actually. But your kids would need to be in first grade for this, and that's the ACES program. So I won't give you too much info on that because they need to be first graders just because of the times that we offer it. So if there's any questions, again, my name is Laura Flossie. You can reach out to me via email. You can find Stephanie's and my information on the website under Child Care, Child Development. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We're almost done, everybody. Okay. So your child, I'll keep this one simple, but your child may be eligible to receive free or reduced price meals and in the school district rate based on your gross income. And to see if your family qualifies, there are different ways you can fill out this application. They are available online, or you can also pick up a hard copy of that application. Dr. Knopick, do you want to add that?
Yes, the application for next school year would be after July 1, and that's for all schools. Each year, the government revises the form. They revise the levels of income to qualify for free reduced lunch. And so we ask you to wait for that process, and we'll advertise that on our website and then through the BUSD e-news to go ahead and complete the application. And that'll open up, like I said, about the middle of July, and then we'll continue to take applications into August and September. So.
Okay, thank you. Here's a little bit more information, some phone numbers if you want to capture this about parent education. We have our wonderful Burbank Adult School and classes that they offer. And so the numbers posted there. And also parent education sessions are held throughout the year as well. And they are just really blooming with the topics that they're offering. I know we have a high level of enrollment for language learning for adults, internet safety, homework, coping with bullies, a lot of topics that really apply to supporting your child to be successful at school. Okay. So this is the last slide, which has the contact information of some of us who are here today, but not everyone. And Stephanie Fields, could you please put your information in the chat? Would you mind doing that?
Sure, I'll do it right now.
And we can get that added perhaps before we distribute this. And while we're doing that, we can take a little bit of time for some questions at the end. Before I forget and start losing people, I really want to thank everyone who is here today. It makes my heart sing to see 200 people logged into this meeting. We have board members here. We have principals here. We have people from so many departments in the district offices. And of course, none of this would be possible without our amazing interpreters who are making sure that everybody understands what is being said, because this is so important when we're talking about your babies. So that being said, I would like to thank you so much. And we will take some questions, but I know some people may need to go. Stephanie Fields has put her contact information. If there's anyone else here in the chat who does work for Burbank Unified and you would like to put your information in the chat, please feel free to do so. Other than that, we will stay on for a little bit and take any questions that you might like to ask out loud verbally.
Rebecca, just if I can say something really quickly. So I'm Abby Ponser-Comcar. I'm the vice president of the school board. I also have a kindergartner and a second grader at Disney Elementary. So it has not long since I was in your position. And so I just wanted to say welcome to BUSD, whether you grew up in Burbank or like me, moved to Burbank in part for our excellent schools. So I tell everyone that I would send my children to any of our amazing schools, and that going to your community school is an experience that really few in our country even get to enjoy. We walk to school, we know our neighbors. It's really amazing. So, it's been talked about that there will be tours. I encourage you to contact your neighborhood school to get that tour. Our kindergarten programs and TK programs are really amazing. I know there's been a lot of questions about You know, my student may not make the cutoff for age. I was in that position with my son who didn't quite make the age cutoff for TK. We survived, it was okay. And he was ready for kinder when he got there. So we're really excited to welcome you into our BUSD family. It's a really amazing place, and our schools are really special. So welcome, welcome. And I will put my email in the chat if you feel like you have questions for the board, but our staff is amazing and they can answer any question you have, and I'll probably send you to them anyway. So welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much for talking. Any other questions from anyone that you would like to ask? You're probably like me and you stay on to see if somebody asks something that you want to know. Oh, that's what I do.
Yeah, I have a quick question. How many kindergarten classes are typically at each school?
That varies by school site. So a school like Miller and Jefferson might have 4 or 5, and a school like, let's say, McKinley, Providencia, and Edison might have 2 or 3. So it kind of varies
What
school
about,
by school depending upon the school enrollment.
do you know for Bret Hart?
I believe there's 3 or 4.
There's 3 at Bret Hart.
Okay.
I have a question about the appointments for enrollment at the school site. How far in advance can we get them? Like, I have everything already scanned and ready to go. So I know on that first date, I'm going to upload everything. Can I call the school site tomorrow and get an appointment in advance?
You should wait until you actually have submitted your documents on January 27th. So, and then I would suggest also, you can call the school now and see, because every school has autonomy on how they want to handle their appointments. So some schools may automatically just email you. I know a school uses Sign Up Genius. So you're welcome to call them now and just see what their plan is. But as far as I know, schools don't accept appointments until you've actually submitted your documents. In case you run into a problem, you know, then the appointments are not, you know, the time isn't wasted for you or for them.
And Lauren, to follow up on that, should we, I think you had said to get your child a spot in TK, your chances are much higher if you enroll in January.
Yeah.
But like, does that mean if well, first off, what time on the 27th are we
8
allowed?
o'clock.
8 o'clock?
As soon as I get to work, I'll load it. Okay.
Got it. So
I'll
let's say
even
I
come in
do
a few
it.
minutes early.
I do it at 8 o'clock and then I call the school and they say, oh, we could fit you in mid-February. Does that mean?
I don't think that'll happen.
Okay, but really we want to get into the school office ASAP so
Yeah.
that we can get on your list for TK.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then,
So
like I said,
that's why I call them, in case they allow us to make an appointment early.
yeah, so you're welcome to call them. They'll be expecting calls, especially after this meeting, to clarify, because like I said, we give the schools autonomy in that some may prefer email appointments, some may prefer phone. I just don't know how each school is doing it. So go ahead and call them. They'll be very friendly and let you know what the plan is. But as far as I know, no one would be accepting appointments ahead, because again, if you aren't able to upload it and you have a 9 o'clock appointment, that's, you know, a waste. Everyone's time is a little wasted.
And Lauren, did you say that that's new this year? Because last year we didn't need to make an appointment when we enrolled our kindergartner.
Well, here's the thing. So before COVID, it was required. So things changed during COVID, and then we were doing things a little differently. And now everyone's back on the same page where we need to see original hard copies. We need to see the original birth certificate, all those things. So we're back to pre-COVID, the way that we used to do things and the way it's properly done.
Oh, I see. So when we come in for the in-person appointments, rather than upload these documents,
you're going to do both.
Bring them.
Yeah, you're going to do both. So you're going to upload the documents. So they'll go right into your child's profile automatically. And then you'll take the hard copies into the office so they can see, because, you know, sometimes the upload that you do is blurry or whatever. So they need to make sure that all the documents are readable, accurate, originals. So that's why.
But then they don't keep them. We go home with them.
Yeah, you go home with them. Yeah, you're just taking them in. And if they need to make a fresh copy because your upload is blurry or whatever, then that's when they'll do that. And then it's a great time to ask questions. they'll ask you questions maybe, and everyone can kind of get to know each other. When I was an office manager, that's how I got to know everybody, and I loved it. So I'm
And
glad we're
having an older sibling at the school doesn't affect if your younger sibling can get into TK, does it?
It doesn't. It's first come, first placed. So, and then again, TK kids, if you get placed somewhere else, you will roll back to your home school. So the worst case scenario is generally just one school year. My daughter did that, and we called it her special TK school and just framed it for her that next year you get to be at the other school, but this year, this is your TK school. So
what is the likelihood? I read online that every child would get a TK spot,
yeah,
but
we'll find a place for your child.
how is that if there's such limited seats? Is it ever a reality that like literally every seat is filled?
Mm-hmm. It is possible.
And then, but like that my child won't get a seat. That's
No,
what
it's not possible that your child won't get a seat. We'll find them a place, I promise. And we'll work together to find the best, next best option if you're not able to get into your homeschool.
So with that said, what if you're in a situation of an interdistrict permit where I work in Burbank?
Yeah.
Is there a possibility that I won't? Because since residents come first serve.
I can't promise because I can't predict, but no, as long as there's space, we're very happy to accept all of our friends who work in the city. We're happy to accept you. So just because we're not into March right now, so I don't have actual data in front of me, but no.
What else is part of the conversation? We have about 30, 35 seats in TK available across the district right now.
Yeah, so I think it would not be a problem, but again, I don't have data in front of me because we're not there yet. But we'll be happy to call me tomorrow if you want to talk any more about it. I'll be happy to help and talk you through it.
Question about the after school programs. Are any of those after school days or the around the clock, are any of them do any of them have separate programs for the little ones? So because my older son did the Boys and Girls Club, and he was in kindergarten, but he was in the same room as like 4th and 5th graders. So for my and he didn't like that. So I'm just wondering if any of those options have something separate for the TK or kindergartners.
It's going to depend on space. Every campus has different spaces, whether it's for ASD, Boys and Girls Club, ATB, the classrooms they have. So you might want to check with either the Boys and Girls Club main branch or the school site because it is a space availability and where they're housed on each campus. So it could be different.
Would there be a person to contact at the school to talk about all of the programs at once, or do I have to ask each of the programs separately? Emerson Elementary.
You could call Emerson and ask them about it, but the more specific, like if you really wanted info on enrolling at Boys and Girls Club, you'd probably want to talk to them or the Y or Parks and Rec. But I can help lead you there if you want to talk to me tomorrow, email me, or you can call Emerson directly, whichever might be easier for you.
I currently have a daughter that's going to TK at Bret Hart. If I got a letter from the school saying that she's automatically enrolled in kindergarten, do I need to do anything? Do I still need to go online and apply?
No, is that your homeschool?
Yes.
Yeah, no, all my TK students automatically roll to kindergarten. You don't have to do anything.
What?
Do you want me to repeat that?
I think that was someone else. That
Okay.
Can I ask?
So they automatically roll. And if you don't want them to go to the school they're zoned for or they're rolling to, that's when you would fill out an intra-district permit that I talked about.
Just going back to the inter-city permitted child. Our child is already in TK. She's on an intercity permit.
She's just gonna roll up into the same school. She's like that's her home school.
We don't have to fill anything out, file any new paperwork. Okay, we're good. Okay, thank you.
No, and if we ever do need something from you, we will contact you. Okay, so don't worry. We'll get you. We'll find you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Laura, can I ask you a question? I put my 3-year-old on the wait list for Around the Bell at our local school. And now he's about 4 and will be going into TK. If I can't get into my local school, does that wait list apply for all schools for Around the Bell? It's like he'll get a spot at whatever school he gets put in instead?
So what you would need to do for Around the Bell is, once you know that so if your child is then moved from his homeschool to another school, then you need to give us a call back at the office, and then we can move your name from your homeschool's wait list to the wait list of the new school via the date you originally got on our list.
Oh, I see. So if I'm number 2 on the Bret Hart wait list and my child goes to Edison, I might be 3 or 2 or 1 or 4, but
Yes.
I won't be like number 17, most
It,
likely.
it could just depend, because there are always other families who've gotten on the list prior to you. So it could just depend where you land, based on the school and the availability of space that we have.
But it goes on the date that I first called to put him on the list like a year ago. That's what you're saying.
Yes, so if a year ago you put your child on the list on April 1st, and then let's say you're not going to Stevenson, but you're going to Emerson, then we will remove you from the Stevenson's wait list to the Emerson's wait list based on that April 1st date.
And then if my son was able to go to our local school in kindergarten, could he stay in Around the Bell when we go back to the other school or no?
So if your child is enrolled in your homeschool and your child gets into ATB, so all current families have priority to re-register for the upcoming year. If for some reason you then change schools, you would then need to let us know. You would still have priority into the program, but we would then have to have you register for McKinley versus Stevenson.
I see, but he'd still have a spot.
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome.
I have a
Sorry,
question
I have a
about
question for SEED, for the SEED program. So for the kids that are currently enrolled in the SEED program, if they still need the service for next year when we go in TK, will the service be offered at the school where they will be admitted? So for me, will be, for example, Jefferson. How'd that work?
Okay, I'll step in, even though it's not my area of expertise. Yes, your student would still receive services based on their IEP at their school that they're assigned to for kindergarten or TK.
Okay, so we'll be at the same school. Perfect. Thank you so
The
much.
feed staff would work with you and would talk to you about the kind of program that your child receives through the IEP process. And if Jefferson offers that program, then you would go to Jefferson. But I don't know what kind of an IEP your child has, and I don't want to discuss it in this public forum. So please talk to the Angie over at the
Yeah.
SEED program,
Yes.
and
Yeah,
she
I
can
know
help
her.
you through that. Okay?
Okay, sounds good. Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can we still enroll like our son to the school of residence, even though SEED might recommend something else? Like, how would that work? Like, and how would the transfer work if we need to transfer him?
Yep, you'll just enroll with your homeschool, and then we will be getting notified once you have your transition IEP, which school, if it's not your homeschool that they're assigned to, and then we'll take care of the back end. We'll take care of the transfer in the system and the paperwork.
We have a parent who has patiently had his hand up and asked a question in the chat, and I want to rely on some of you who have been doing this for longer than me. He says, are there any statistics on how many kindergarten spaces available for interdistrict permit applications? Is that your question, sir?
Yes, yes, thank you very much for addressing that. Thank you.
Hi, so sorry, I didn't see your question. No, I don't have any historical data. And every year is a little different. But I can say with certainty, hopeful optimism, that we will be able to find a place for your child in kindergarten. It just may not be your first or second choice school. That would be the only kind of potential risk. But you really can't go wrong in Burbank. Our schools are so awesome.
May I ask a specific question? I have a child who's in TK at Roosevelt, and I wanted to see if I can get an IEP to another school, and what's the closest school to Roosevelt? She's currently in TK, and she's going to be going to kindergarten.
To kindergarten, and you said an IEP?
I'm saying, I assume that's intra-district
I
permit,
gotcha.
but maybe I'm mistaken about the acronym.
Okay, so once your child is on an inter-district permit, that is their school. That's their school of residence.
No, she's
So-
currently in homeschool. Homeschool is Roosevelt at TK.
Oh.
And you said naturally she moves to
intra.
Roosevelt, but
Okay.
we're talking about, yes, to transfer her to another school, to the closest school in Burbank. That's closest to Roosevelt. Is that possible to do? And what are the chances of doing that? And what is the school that's
You know what?
nearest?
I need some more info. Can you call me tomorrow? And
Certainly,
then
thank you.
I'll look at the exact situation and we'll talk about it.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
When enrolling twins, can I enroll them both at the same time on the 27th, or do I have to do one and then the other? And is there ever a world where they get separated into different schools?
No, you do have to do a separate enrollment for them because they're two different, they'll have two different profiles because they're two different people. But no, I won't separate them. So
So do I have to, can I do the enrollment though at the same time, or do I have to do like one application and
one
then
and then one? Because I mean, it's literally like you have to fill out all the questions, upload the documents, submit, and then do the next one.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you could have dad do it at the same time on a different account. I mean, I don't know. It's fine. Just do them and just have everything ready and it'll be fine. It won't take that long.
Okay. And then with the immunization records, they turn 4 later in 2025. So if they're up to date because they haven't had their 4-year-old appointment yet, so if they're missing they're missing 4 shots, like the final 4 shots, that's okay as long as, do I just have to show proof of that upcoming appointment, or?
As long as your student is as current as they possibly can be, that they are not behind, that they're as current as they possibly can be. And we will have you sign a document that says that you understand that you will provide an updated immunization record within 2 weeks of your child turning 4 years old.
Okay, got it.
So thank you for bringing that up, because please schedule these appointments. Do this now, because if you come and say, I swear that my child has an appointment and it's a month from when they're turning 4, that's not going to be accepted. So
okay.
Please, parents, schedule appointments early. Thank you so much.
Okay, guys, I'm going to take one more question before we close the Zoom. We have Sammy. Sammy has their hand raised. Are you there, Sammy?
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you.
I have a question about the family living with families. How do we upload that stuff if our names are not on like the BWP and SoCal bills?
So the way that works is there is a family with family form on the main Aries online enrollment page, the first page after you click on my pencil. At the bottom, there's an asterisk and it says, if you're living with another family, click here. That will pull up the document that you need. It's a legally binding document that the people will sign, you and they will sign it to say that you really live there. And then you will provide that form. Let's say, I'm just for an example, let's say it's your dad's house that you live with your dad. So you will provide that form, your dad's utility bills, Burbank Water and Power, your dad's SoCal Gas, your dad's ID, and then you will provide a supplementary bill. And that can be, there's a list of documents on that form that you can use. It's like a cell phone bill, a bank statement, car insurance bill. It's kind of an official document or bill that you receive at the address. So it kind of, it's like a little package, basically, little packet.
Okay, so just get that done before I do the registration and I can upload it that day.
Exactly. Yeah, perfect. And if you have any specific question, call me.
I did email you, but I got a chance to speak, so. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, everyone, I want to thank you so much for your time. Again, this presentation, which does include the contact numbers and information for a lot of our district representatives who have been here tonight, that will be posted online probably tomorrow, right? So if you have any questions that are unique to your situation or just need some reassurance about anything, please do reach out to us. We want to thank you so much for your time tonight, and we hope that you have a wonderful evening. Good night, everyone.
Thank you.